Yes. Welcome to the We Only Do One Take podcast. It is the only podcast in the world that is a complete shit show. I am Turch, and with me as always is my co-host, my CEO, Kieran. How are
Thank you very much. And a bit disappointed that you went on the mark to nominate me for the Uber's late person competition.
You know why? Because you emailed me the nomination form late. So
we shouldn't get bogged down with... I'm sure because it's the late awards, they'll be fine with late nominations.
Maybe I should put in a late nomination for you, so for those Uber awards.
But there's the best excuse for being late, or the latest person in Australia.
I've told you this before, and I have a theory about you and a few other people, but you are always late to things.
Margin of error.
Margin of error up to 3 hours, right? And I have a theory, because you originally were from Perth, and you moved over to the same part of the country, Melbourne, and because of that, I feel like when we say like come at 8 o'clock, and you come at 11, it's because you're still in Perth time.
Yeah, right.
You're
You could
3
be
hours
onto
behind.
something here.
But it's funny because I've got a few other mates who have come from Perth,
Yeah.
and he does the same thing.
Yeah.
And then I was just saying to you before the show, my cousin had a mate who was from Perth, and he's also always about 2 to 3 hours
But
late.
it's the Perth culture. You say 5 and you mean 7. Like, no one turns up at the time you say.
Oh, that's why they're the economic boom. Apart from the mining things, they're the economic boom and the cultural centre of Australia down in Perth.
See, my old man's... one of the things I love going back to Perth, right? My old man's there at the moment. And I was just like, holy shit, if I got up right now...
Yeah.
I'm like, it would be 6 a.m. Perth time. I would be wide awake. I'd be ready to hit the ground running.
But that's like saying, if I was in London, I'd be up at midnight. But if you were in London, you would just readjust yourself.
True. After a week in Perth, on the third day, I'm like, slept past 6 a.m.
That's right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, you readjust. It's like, you suffer from that jet lag for a bit, and then you're fine. But speaking of running late,
Yeah.
and this leads into my rant.
Okay.
Which is always a bit of fun of how we always start the show. So I was having a great day last week. I had some new tenants moving to my investment property.
Oh, congratulations.
Very exciting.
The Investment Podcast with Turch coming up next.
Right, I know, right? Then my mate came over and we recorded some demos for
In the house where the tenants are going.
No, recorded them here.
Okay.
So
In the podcast studio.
In the podcast studio,
Yep.
we just I've been looking to write some original music, some more original music.
Okay. All right.
So it's going to be very, very slow because I'm a bit lazy and tired, and it's Christmas season. But we'll get to the Christmas rants next week. But I've been working really hard with them to write some more music. So it came over, we recorded 2 little demos, and that was really cool. And then after all that, I was going to meet up with you guys at one of our favourite pubs. And I thought, great, how good is this? What a great day.
The Northcote Social Club.
Northcote Social Club. Not only that, I didn't see Jess all day.
Okay.
Which was even sometimes really nice. Like sometimes you just need that break from your
You're
girlfriend.
at that point in your relationship.
No.
You enjoy her going to work.
Well, she wasn't at work. She was out with her friends.
Okay, yeah.
So that was fun. So I get to the Northcote Social Club, and
right.
you guys are running a bit late. That's all right. But I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll grab myself a beer, and I'll sit down. I'll bag some chairs for us, and we'll relax.
This was the night that I was going to see The Room.
The Room. That's right. That's right.
Right.
And we'll talk about that later. That's coming up.
Okay.
But I sat there, ordered a beer. I got one of my favourite ones, the Mountain Goat Steam Ale. I love that one. And pours me a pint of beer.
Okay, pint of beer.
For Americans, it's like 550 mils. I don't know what that is in gallons or whatever stupid.
So about a gallon. Okay.
Yeah, about a gallon of beer, right? Nah, like a pint of beer. And the guy goes to me, and this is where the rant is going to start. And where I take this is going to be completely weird.
Okay.
The guy goes $12.50
For a mountain goat steam ale pint.
Half a litre of beer, just a bit that. $12.50 for a beer.
It's relatively cheap.
I thought that was very expensive. Right?
That's not VB. I mean,
It's not VB.
This is a premium beer.
I wouldn't even call it premium because it's owned by CUB.
It used to be premium beer.
It used to be premium
It used to
beer.
be independent.
It used to be an independent small thing. And you know what? I'm happy to pay for the small brews and then, if it's, but still.
So you're not saying it's not an IPA?
No, exactly right. But beautiful beer, but $12.50 for a pint.
I'm a fan of the dark ale.
Yeah, me too, but in summer, gotta go a bit lighter.
Okay.
That's how but holy fuck. And that's what my rant is this week. It is the price of beer.
Bloody outrageous. You know where you should join? You should go. You should join a lawn bowls club.
Yeah.
Because they've still got genuine 1975 prices.
That's true. But the price of beer really shits me, especially at pubs. And that's the thing. Like, I know I'm paying for the atmosphere and the bar staff and the bands to play and all that sort of stuff. But the actual price of beer, especially in Australia, and from what I can tell around the world as well, is heavily taxed. And this is what my rant is going to... I thought my rant was just going to be...
The beer tax.
The price of beer was just going to be my rant. But because of this little bit of research that I decided to do...
And we thank the Research Investigative Department of the We Only Do One Take podcast.
I wanted to know why a pint of beer was $12.50. So I did a bit of research. Mm-hmm. Now, beer is taxed because all products have a GST on it.
So 10%.
10%. 10% on top of whatever we do. But on top of that, here and around the world, they put this other thing on it that they don't call a tax, but it basically is a tax. And it's called an excise.
Oh, but it's not a tax because it's an excise.
So let me. This is the definition of an excise. An excise or an excise tax, where they drop off the tax bit, is any duty on manufactured goods which is levied at the moment of manufacture rather than at the sale. They are often associated with customs duties. Customs are levied goods that come into existence as taxable items at the border, while excise is levied on goods that came in existence on inland. Tobacco, alcohol, and gasoline are the three big things around the world that have excise on them.
Hang on a second. So that stops us from manufacturing if we have excises.
Correct. Oh, now you learn. Now we're having some fun. So excise duty is collected under the excise tariff, not tax.
Tariff. This is good political. You could be in politics.
Well,
with all these tariffs and excises that you're going to introduce.
And this was enacted. This pain on the common man was enforced in all the way back over 100 years ago, nearly 100 years ago, in 1921. That's when it started. So this little thing is increasing the price of beer. And you think to yourself, how much is it increasing at the price of beer? So when they manufacture it, they automatically inflate the price. How much is that? And then that price, that selling price, then gets passed on to the people that are buying the beer, so the pub, which they then pass on to us.
The consumer.
So what they do is, I worked it out. And with the help of some Liberal Democrat stuff here, because they're really big on getting rid of that tax.
Well, that's why we got the GST. Why are we being double taxed?
See? And that's what another thing I'm getting annoyed at. So, according to the Liberal Democrats, a slab of beer, of VB, which is
I feel like the VB is the equivalent of the American dollar. It's standardized. We know what that is.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like, I don't know what like the American beers like Budweiser, I guess.
Yeah. Equivalent
of Budweiser, I guess. But VB, slab of VB, Victoria Bitter, traditional beer in Australia, especially in Melbourne, is I've got here about $48 a slab. On average.
24 big cans of beer.
The manufacturing cost on that is $27.14.
Is that the excise?
No, the excise is $16.20.
Oh, sorry, the manufacturing cost is 27.
Right.
So that's include their profit?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the excise is $16.49.
Fuck.
And then you don't pay the GST on the original price of the manufacturing price. You pay GST on the combined price
Oh, no.
of the manufacturing price plus the excise. So you're getting double taxed in that GST amount. So that GST amount's $4.36 is what I've got here. Which means that a total tax on a $48 slab of VB is 43% tax. So, let's go back to my pint of beer.
You say your pint of beer costs $12.50.
$12.50. Let's just make it a nice even
10.
40%.
Yeah.
Or even $10.
Let's make it $10.
$10. And let's just say it's 40% because,
Yeah.
they've got to pay the staff. That means a pint of beer should be, if it's $12.50, should be about $7. But it's $12.50. And that's what shits me, Kieran. That's what my rant is about today.
You don't
Not
mind
the price of beer.
You don't mind having the GST tax because that's common amongst everything.
Well, it's 10%. It's
10%.
flat.
10%
except,
flat.
Yeah, it's basically on everything that's manufactured that goes to the consumer.
Yeah.
But this, having the excise and then the GST, means every time you buy not just alcohol, but cigarettes and gas, like petrol.
We should be getting rid of these excise.
Well, you're never going to... I guarantee that'll never happen. But the fact that it's hidden in the cost, not many people know about it, and it does affect anyone that enjoys any of these things, like alcohol, tobacco, and driving their car, I think is an absolute outrage. So my problem is the price of beer, but it's how we come to that price of beer.
See, $7 for a mountain goat is reasonable.
I think so. I think that $27, even if you round up to $30 for a slab of beer, perfectly reasonable.
This is why I love going to Vietnam, because they don't have taxes.
That's right. Well, but that's the thing around the world, especially in Western cultures, tax. And it's this one here, the excise on beer. So if a beer is 3.5% alcohol or more, then you get this rate. If it's any less than that, it's a different rate. But nowadays, as of I think next financial year, it's basically the same. So anything that has a higher alcohol content than what they consider no alcohol, which is like 0.1,
Yeah, right.
will have this excise on it.
Bloody outrageous.
Which is always going to go up because it's based on the cost of manufacturing.
We should go into politics.
Oh,
we should change this.
So that's my rant. That was my rant. I hope I didn't bore everybody with the taxation thing, but for me, you earn your money, you pay your income tax, which you lose about 25%, and then just to go and do something that you enjoy with your mates, you're paying 43% on a beverage.
And that's a huge tax.
That's huge.
What do other countries in the world pay?
And you know what? Funnily enough, I was saying this before. Very similar across the board. Bit lower in the UK, bit lower in the US. We're very heavily taxed here in Australia, and that makes me really sad. And you know what the weird thing is? Only today in the news, and I didn't get to read the article. I just got so outraged.
Bloody outraged.
The ABC 9 hours ago when we were recording this, politicians to tackle obesity want to put an additional tax on alcohol.
Oh no!
And I'm like, how much more fucking tax do you want? It's going to be more tax than
No. Is it going to be a tax or is it going to be another tariff?
Well,
we need another name. We've got excises and we've got tariffs and we've got tax
fees.
A fee.
We already got that, the Medicare fee.
No. It needs to be It needs to be positive. It
Always.
needs to be a enhancement.
So it's just saying here, a new tax on alcohol, which could see the cost of cask wine rise by more than 100%, would be the most cost-effective way for the government to address the nation's growing obesity crisis. Can you imagine? So this $12.50 beer, even if we say we increase the price by 50%, instead of the 100 that they're announcing here. That means I'm paying $18 for more than that.
It's like the luxury car tax. They haven't got rid of the luxury car tax.
And that's another one. Luxury car tax. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. We had a manufacturing industry here. We couldn't compete with the overseas. Put a tax on the imported cars. Now we have no manufacturing here. The tax on the imported cars is still there.
It's still there. Bloody outrageous.
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, that's a great rant.
Oh, thank you. Well, don't worry. Wait till the Christmas one next week. I've got a fucking good one, mate.
Well, Turch, I think you need to do what this man has done to his entire town.
Yes, what did
If you don't like taxes, then this is what you should do. A guy spends $4,000 on a giant statue to give his entire town the middle finger.
Can we do that in front of Parliament House? Like, how hard would that be? I wonder how much money we could raise on a Kickstarter
to do that.
To do that. I have a feeling that would be very high. That would be very, very high. Anyway, so he put a middle finger in front of in his town, did he?
Well, we've all been treated unfairly by others and dreamed of getting revenge. You imagine the perfect comeback to splinter their soul and the perfect plot to punish them for mistreating you. Then they'll be sorry, then they'll pay, then they'll all pay. Wah, ha, 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 ha. But you don't actually do any of it and you move on with your life. Well, one man in Westford, Vermont, that's Bernie Sanders territory, decided to retaliate against his enemies in the most hilarious way. 10 years ago, it was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Ted Pelkey wanted to build an 8,000 square foot garage so he could move his truck repair and recycling business to his own property, rather than working in the nearby town. Doesn't sound like a big deal, right? But unfortunately, the Westford and Development Review Board blocked him from getting a permit. The battle continued for a decade as town leaders kept saying no over and over. It is not clear why authorities kept denying his request, but finally he couldn't take it anymore, and the disgruntled 54-year-old decided to show town officials exactly what he thought of them by commissioning a giant statue of a middle finger. The monument was constructed out of a 700-pound block pine, sits atop of a 16-foot pole, and cost $4,000.
I'm very impressed.
There you go. And it's illuminated.
It's also illuminated. There you go. We've just had a dog run into the studio, ladies and gentlemen. We're just trying to get her.
Hi, Ruby.
Oh, there we go. That's an amazing... Oh, that's so... It's lifelike. I thought it was just like a crappy little monument, but that's very detailed.
That's huge.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with his ability. And not only that, it's like on a big stand. It must be like 10, 20 feet high.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I say good on him. But it's not just...
It's fighting back.
It's not just a 1-year battle or 6-month battle.
No.
It's a 10-year battle.
It's long term.
And so he's gone, stuff ya.
Why not?
I've built a statue. All hail the middle finger.
You can't really... I mean, they can't make him get rid of it off his front lawn, can they?
No, they can't.
Oh, fantastic. Imagine that legal battle. After 10 years of the other one. Just one here. Another 50 years.
But good on him.
I'm going to tell you... you know what I like, Kieran? After a big night of drinking...
$12.50 beers. Oh, after drinking.
After drinking.
Kebabs.
True. Or 20 McNuggets.
Oh.
I love my McNuggets.
With what sauce?
I do the barbecue. I know you do your Big Mac sauce.
Big Mac
I know
sauce.
you asked that one, but I do like I used to like my barbecue quite a bit, but now it's sweet and sour. Jess has got me onto that sweet and sour sort of thing.
You're into the sweet and sour.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you some stories this week about McDonald's.
Give us a yarn.
And it all syncs up because... So here's the first article.
Hang on a second. McDonald's produces food. Where's the excise on the food?
Well, no. We're not putting any more fucking taxes on food. No more taxes. If
Tariffs
I have to pay,
or excises?
If I have to pay tax on things that I purchase, then I shouldn't get taxed on the income that I make. Choose one. See? That's how you play the game. But nonetheless, in the UK, the National Health Service, NHS...
Yes, the NHS
has stated...
It rolls off the tongue.
I know, right? Has stated that they should be run more like McDonald's, says the health secretary.
Well, you think about it, McDonald's is a very efficient organisation.
Oh, this is exactly what this guy was saying. So he just said that they should look for the fast food chain as an example. The NHS needs to look to McDonald's as an example how to improve its leadership and management structure. He said, look at McDonald's. For example, they're nowhere as important as what the NHS is, but what they do is spectacularly less complex. Yet they start leadership training at a shift manager level. They drive leadership training through every level of the company. Restaurant managers learn how to develop a culture of continuous improvement, how to hold their teams and themselves accountable, and how to apply best practice to their outlets. General managers learn how to create and execute business plans and analyze and improve performance. And he went on to praise the employees that there's apprenticeships, university degrees, a leadership institute, and accelerated leadership development programs. All that training just to sell more burgers. It's pretty sad to say when you'd think like a very important organisation like the NHS just goes...
Oh, so the NHS would be filled with government bureaucracy.
It would be terrible.
That stops anything and everything from happening.
Look at the guy who didn't complete high school, but he's got a degree because he's worked at McDonald's and he's a manager at McDonald's. It's pretty sad to think. But now, when reading this article, like especially the headline was sort of outrageous to me. As I read it, completely understand. So I thought to myself, hey, there's going to be something about in the news this week that happened at McDonald's.
I just want to say, and I think it's very appropriate as the CEO of this podcast to say this, and the NHS should also be looking at the structure of the We Only Do One Take podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
I think under the leadership of Kieran.
As the owner of a small to medium-sized business.
Where we've generated no profit.
No profit.
We're still...
it's been nearly a year of no profit. Super losses.
But that's the plan. We're gonna run a good 2 to 3 years in the negative.
Yep.
And then we'll spike up.
I hope so. But let me tell you a story of what happened in McDonald's this week. Because sometimes, like, you go, yeah, it's all well and good that that's how they do all these leadership programs, this and that. But are they actually acting in the way that they should be acting?
We can use buzzwords.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kieran, let me tell you about an incident. The incident happened at about 11 p.m. on October 27th after a woman went through the drive-thru of a McDonald's restaurant.
That happens?
I know.
What?
After getting her food, she apparently became enraged when she discovered there was not enough ketchup in her order.
Uh-oh.
The woman then entered the employee entrance of McDonald's restaurant and asked for ketchup.
Okay. Tomato sauce for our American listeners.
That's right. Other way around.
I know, it was a joke.
Catsup.
It was a joke.
Catsup. When told by the manager she couldn't be in the building...
What?
The woman became combative and began pushing and punching and choking the employee.
Well, thank God they do that karate training.
The physical altercation took place inside the store near the drive-thru window, according to the footage. Another employee attempted to...
Hang on a second. According to the footage. It either happened or it didn't happen.
I know.
It's footage.
Another employee attempted to intervene and eventually called over other workers to help.
Eventually tells me that it's been going for a long time.
And then a man believed with the attacker, so with the woman, eventually came through the back door entrance and pulled the woman off the manager. The police said, she's the one that committed the crime. There's no reason to physically assault someone because you didn't get enough ketchup. So as you can see...
And she'll have to do the time.
As you can see, McDonald's managers are very good at dealing with customers. And diffusing difficult situations, according to the footage.
That's why they have that leadership. That's why they need more leadership training. More leadership training.
And I know what you're thinking, Kieran.
Imagine if they didn't have any leadership training.
I know, terrible. But I know what you're thinking, Kieran. That was just one example. It's just one sample size. We need a study that has more of a sample size.
We do.
To really understand how well things are doing at McDonald's. How about this one?
Okay.
Poo is found on every McDonald's touchscreen.
That's why we do research, so that it can come back to the leadership team, so that they can.
So traces of feces have been detected on every single McDonald's self-serve touchscreens tested by an investigation by a UK tabloid. Swabs were taken from the kiosks on all these machines around locations, and tested by the London Metropolitan University microbiologist Dr. Paul Matawele. we were surprised at how much gut and fecal bacteria there was on the touchscreen machines. They can cause all kinds of infection for people to pick up in hospitals. And some of the stuff that now I've written these down phonetically because I didn't want to stuff it up because I'm sure one of our listeners is going to give me some shit for saying these wrong.
Look, I tell you what, I take the most serious pronunciation courses I can, so I never stuff up words.
Staphylococcus bacteria, so that was found on there, abundance of it, which can cause blood poisoning and toxic shock syndrome, which is super contagious. Also on there was listeria, which causes miscarriages in pregnant women and is actually used to help do abortions.
Right, okay.
Proteus, which gives you urinary tract infections, and Klebsiella, which is from the gut and mouth and causes diarrhea. All of those were found in abnormally high values on these touchscreens at McDonald's, which is what, I mean, I've never used it. I feel like if there's a person at the counter, which every McDonald's has a person at the counter, I'm just going to go order to the person at the counter.
You're going to actually make the person at the counter work. Is that what you're going to do, Church?
Well, that's how they learn.
Are you telling me that you're going to make that person actually work?
You know what? If that manager dealt with more people instead of not getting their things wiped down, maybe he would have dealt with that person who wanted a little bit more ketchup, a little bit nicer.
Nah, stuff
and the footage wouldn't have shown.
You get what you get and you don't complain.
But it's amazing. Apparently the bacteria...
Alright, I've got to pick at this investigative... Okay, so they found these traces, right? Traces, right? Were they obnoxiously high that someone is going to, all of a sudden become sick? Or are they like the safe levels?
It was higher than normal. That's all it says here. But this is a tabloid.
There's feces on this table here.
Don't tell my mum that.
Right?
That's true. It's feces.
But basically, what this study is telling me is most people walk into that McDonald's, take a shit.
And don't wash their hands.
Don't wash their hands and then come out and press the touchscreen.
Yeah. And then the spokesperson from McDonald's saying that they are cleaned frequently throughout the day, but the disinfectant could not have been strong enough. So, there you go. But look, McDonald's is going to be rolling out more of these as the years go on.
If I was the spokesperson for McDonald's, I would say, we're putting a ban, you must order, then go to the bathroom.
Well, I think they were trying to do... Remember at Starbucks? Starbucks was trying to do that sort of thing not too long ago. Because remember those... there was a whole thing about two black people were sitting in the shop. And then they were... The manager sort of said, hey, if you're not going to order anything...
Get out.
You have to leave. It's like, no, we're going to use the bathroom. It's like, no, you can't now. And now they've actually... Because of this incident, they've sort of... been persuaded by these, social justice warrior types. And now anyone can use the bathroom, even if you don't buy something.
Right, okay.
What they've found is that no one can use the bathroom because the toilets are now so overflowed full of shit and piss, and they don't have the staff to clean it, that the toilets actually close so much at stores that no one can actually use them.
That's fair enough.
Because homeless people just walk in,
and then do their thing.
Piss and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And just leave.
Yeah. I know.
So I think it's a double-edged sword. I understand that, yes, you got to buy something or do something like that.
Now, I'll tell you what, when I'm in the city, right, and I've got to take a shit or a piss, and I'm up near the top end of Collins Street, near the new Parliament House.
Yeah.
I go into the Sofitel. Is it the Sofitel there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Sofitel there. Right. Go up to the 35th floor or 36th. I can't remember. It's one of those two, right? There's a restaurant up there, right? But you don't need to go into the restaurant, right? And you go up there, right?
Right.
And you go into the male bathroom,
right? And
you basically can take a piss next to the window and look over the beautiful view of Melbourne.
You are the George Costanza of this podcast. Like, where every single toilet is.
No, I like to take a piss and a crap in luxury. I don't want to be going to Starbucks
and then all you complain about is food and legroom. Like, if the next story is about a clown named Bozo, or you're working on the Podensky file.
Hey, you should be impressed that I let my toilet secret of where the best place to take a shit or a piss in Melbourne is.
Oh, there's only like 3 people listening to this podcast anyway. So we're all good. But Kieran, do you have some more news for us this week?
I do. An obese Florida man
Yes.
Sorry. An obese Florida man avoids jail because he's too fat.
Oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
A 600-pound Florida man arrested.
600 pounds. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to work it out in kilograms for us Australian listeners out here.
Arrested for scamming restaurants in 2007. Was offered a plea deal when prosecutors discovered it was too expensive to incarcerate him, according to the Orlando Sentinel. Wow, because America just seems like a place where they don't care how much it costs to put you in jail. They'll just throw more money at keeping you behind bars.
Was it? It depends. Some of them are private and they're having him in there. But I guess if he's eating quite a bit,
yeah, but
with the healthcare.
But you don't. But you get what you get in prison. That's it. You can't.
That's true.
Anyway,
270 kilograms, by the way. That's a big boy.
George, 38, is infamous for ordering food and then complaining about the quality and refusing to pay after he eats it. The obese thief once devoured 5 milkshakes before finding a hair in the shake and refusing to pay. George was arrested in 2007 after downing nearly $50 of beef jerky from a 7-Eleven, then claiming the last few scraps were mouldy. Police tracked him down at a home and arrested him. The beef jerky got me, George said on his way to prison.
The beef jerky got me!
After George was charged with 5 counts of a felony of petty theft, he became ill and bedridden. He now resides in a nursing facility and relies on a respirator to breathe.
Oh my God.
After prosecutors discovered that the state would have to foot the bill for George's medical care, they offered a plea deal. He's in a prison cell, said Assistant State Attorney. He's not getting out of that bed.
Well, he can't. He probably can't get out of the bed at all.
There's a photo.
That's a big man. There is no chin. It's just, or there's 8 chins. It's one of the two. There's no in between.
He'll be dead soon.
Probably. I wouldn't be very surprised, especially if he's so used to eating. What's $50? It must be like 2 or 3 kilograms worth of beef jerky for $50.
That's a good way. But to lose weight, go to prison. You only get your 3 meals a day. You can't eat any more.
I don't. Anyway, so we're going to be doing a new series on health and fitness. I went to prison and lost 50 kilos and my anal virginity, but 50 kilos.
Well done, and woo, congratulations. Woo.
Well, speaking of Starbucks, I was talking about Starbucks before. You know how we were having a feud with Pornhub for a while?
Did we win?
Nah.
Okay.
We can't. We love them too much. Their stats are fantastic. We can't hate them.
We'll call it a draw.
We don't forgive them, but we were expecting an apology.
Okay.
So, But YouPorn, another porn website, has decided to respond to Starbucks' porn ban.
Starbucks has a porn ban?
Yeah.
Is Starbucks owned by religious people?
No. They just get very, they get pushed over by social justice warriors. Stuff like that. So let me just.
They need a CEO that takes action.
Yeah, that's
right. They need me.
Well, here you go. Let's set the scene. Starbucks, after a few years of promising it would, has banned viewing porn on its free Wi-Fi. The company has built a filter and that would not allow mature content while blocking straight up porn.
Are people actually going there to watch porn, or is it people that live near them in their apartments that are like, hey, I'm going to take their Wi-Fi?
I have a feeling that might be the case, but either way, still funny.
Yeah, but what?
I can see, you know what though? I have a feeling that more porn is viewed at libraries, than anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I have a feeling like homeless people just go, and go to a library, quick jerk off, get out.
Yeah.
So defund libraries, people. So porn purveyor YouPorn has amusingly responded by banning Starbucks coffee in its offices.
Ooh.
So in a memo sent to employees by YouPorn...
That will get Starbucks.
Yeah. But in a memo sent to employees by YouPorn by Vice President Charles Hughes, effective 1st of January, Starbucks products will be banned from YouPorn offices. I can't imagine there'll be someone walking around the office slapping lattes out of people's hands. But it's a bit of a laugh from the YouPorn officers. So in light of the news that Starbucks has blocked customers from searching and viewing adult content within an establishment, Starbucks products will officially be banned from YouPorn's offices effective 1st of January 2019. And they actually did send out a memo, and it's signed by the vice president as well. It's like, you can't, basically, as of 1st of January...
But it didn't come from the president. It came from the vice president.
Close enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's just more of like a bit of fun. Like, you think about it, the guys at YouPorn, they're going to be having a bit of fun.
Well, I heard the other day Tumblr is getting rid of anything related to porn.
Well, the app got taken down because of how much, not just porn, they found an abundance of underage porn.
Oh, right, okay.
And the app was, I don't know if it's back up on the app market, but we did post it on our Instagram account, and everyone should follow us at We Only Do One Take Podcast on Instagram. But yeah, like they, the app itself got taken down from both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store because of, child pornography, basically.
On there, right, okay.
So that's definitely something that happened, but they've banned all...
Because I've heard something like 60% of Tumblr is just porn.
Well, a lot of porn, a lot of furry porn, a lot of weird...
A lot of kinks.
A lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
Actually, I've always wanted to get a furry on this show. It'd be very interesting.
Well, now Tumblr's gone, they're going to need somehow to, get themselves out into the market.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, they're quite big. I was actually watching something recently about, I think it was DashCon or something like that, where these guys from from Tumblr decided to run their own convention. And first they were going to call it TumblrCon or something like that. And then the guys from Tumblr sent them a cease and desist for using all their things. And then they called it DashCon, and they scammed about a whole bunch of cash, like nearly 10, 20K from all these people. All at once. Really interesting. Maybe I'll send you the link to the video.
That'd be great.
It'd be really interesting, that sort of stuff.
That'd be great.
Now, Kieran, you went to see The Room.
I did.
And Nova?
At Cinema Nova.
Yeah. And how was it?
Look, it was great.
Because you brought your dad. Now, okay, first of all, has anyone seen, if you haven't seen The Room is this film by this gentleman named Tommy Wiseau, made in 2002. It is considered...
the world's worst film.
The world's worst film. It's meant to be this serious melodrama.
Yeah.
And you watch it, and it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
And the people that go there, because it's played every month.
Okay, it's now become like a cult film, and Cinema Nova, which is in Carlton down here in Australia.
11:30 o'clock at night, and this happens around the world.
Yeah.
Different cinemas around the world play this. Cinema Nova, 11:30 at night, right? So I tell my old man, I'm going to take you to the world's worst film. Right? My stepbrother as well, he's at high school.
Yeah.
He doesn't realise how cool he is now that he's seen it.
It's pretty cool.
But he's seen it I don't feel like it's a movie you don't watch until you're out of high school.
True.
So he's seen it.
Yeah.
But he can't tell his friends.
Not yet.
Yeah, They're just gonna be like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
We're trying to play Pokemon, or I don't know, whatever high school kids do, right?
Anyway.
Right.
But your dad.
And my sister went along too.
Oh wow, yeah, full family affair.
Right. So we went there. So my sister didn't believe me that we threw spoons.
Yeah.
You throw spoons.
I didn't know why people threw spoons.
Yeah.
But I found out recently why people throw spoons.
What's the reason?
It's because in the film, they have the
picture frames.
Picture frames, yeah. But apparently, all the picture frames, they didn't remove the stock image from them.
Yeah.
And all the stock images are of spoons.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until very recently. Every time I watch that film, I find something new about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because every time you see spoons in the picture frames, you throw spoons.
Yeah.
Right? The whole cinema throws spoons, right? And I find it interesting because we get in there, right? Number one, my sister's complaining. No one told me it was 11:30 at night, right? This is terrible.
She's got a little one though, so
they went with her father, so she had that, right? Not gonna lie, I was a little bit drunk. They had a cappuccino before I went in, and
you're safe.
That saved me. All right. The meal beforehand also helped.
I was gonna say we had a Palmer before that. That was really nice, actually.
That was great. And so my sister doesn't believe me, right? And I sent my father down to get buy spoons.
Yeah.
And he comes back because we're at Brunetti's having a coffee, right?
Beautiful.
And he gets back and he's like, "These are the last 2 packets."
Yeah.
And my sister's like, "What's going on?" And we're just like, my dad's revving up. He's like, "All right, this is gonna be good." all the spoons are like gone from like Woolworths. Like, bloody hell, I'm looking forward to this. Anyway, you get into the cinema and the lights are still on and everyone's sort of like...
Get hustly bustly.
Yeah, but everyone's sort of quiet and polite. Anyway, as soon as those lights dim and go off, everyone's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Everyone is wild and screaming and... Like, I had to tell my dad, I'm like, you can talk throughout this film. Like, just... He fucking loved it.
Of course
he loved throwing spoons. He loved yelling abuse. He got into that whole... that's like, why did this happen? Because you're a woman. Line, right?
Yeah.
My stepbrother.
I don't want to talk about it.
Right, my sister fucking loved it as well.
Good.
My stepbrother, who's 15,
Didn't get it.
he was like, what the fuck? It was like so conservative. It was just
yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what's...
It's very much two sides. Like, people either really love it when they see it, or they just don't get it and, never really watch it again. And I think the first time I saw it, I think it takes about 2 or 3 watches to sort of understand. And I think I introduced it to Jess, and I'm like, not that she hated it the first time, but she just didn't get into it.
But I think you've got to be with a group of people that get
it.
Yeah. If it's the first time you're watching it and you're just watching with someone else who just got no idea, it's going to be the shittest film.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing. And I think we watched it up at Phillip Island last time.
Right.
And it went off. Maybe we should do that again for this year. It'd be really good.
I think so.
It'd be really fun. But speaking of The Room, this week I went to see... So Greg Sestero, who plays...
you saw the new film?
I saw the new film. So that's called Best Friends, but it's part 2.
Yeah.
And...
There's a... What?
So there's two films. So there's part 1... Best Friends Part 1, which has Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau, who are both in the room.
Have you seen Part 1?
And I saw Part 1 back in March or April or something like that. And this is Part 2. So Jess and I, we had to find out what happens at the end of this film. Because it's sort of like... It's actually... it's not bad. It's not great. It's like, just a weird little thriller sort of film. It's actually pretty good. I would love to watch them back to back. And the first one left us with a whole bunch of questions. Best Friends Part 1. Again, Nova Cinema. But the great thing about Nova Cinema was they actually brought Greg Sestero down.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we got to ask him questions, and he actually sat with us to watch the film.
No fucking way.
So it was awesome. So we got to sit in the room, and I've got some photos. So maybe I should put that up on the Instagram page. So it's really cool. But I highly recommend it. Just like if you're looking for like a weird sort of thriller that's something a bit different, and Tommy actually plays a character that suits him really, really well. And that's really weird because like in the room he doesn't play he should not be playing that character.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you were to cast that film and like you saw him come in to act, you'd be like, you are not going to play this character. But he plays that character in the room. He plays like the hero. But he also plays the hero in this film.
Yeah. But
you don't know it. And that's what makes it really great. So definitely would recommend it. But that's like the 3rd time I've seen Greg Sestero.
Yeah.
Because I saw him when the premiere for The Disaster Artist. Have you seen that?
No, it's something I need to watch.
Definitely. It's on Netflix now, which is really good. But The Disaster Artist is... Greg Sestero wrote a book about the making of The Room. And that's got James Franco in it and Seth Rogen... whole bunch of other really famous people, and that
might watch that tonight.
Incredible story. And then I saw him for the premiere of that, and then obviously Best Friends 1 and 2. I saw him for the thing of that, the premiere of both those films. But highly recommend it. So we've had a very Tommy Wiseau, Greg Sestero kind of week. It's been really good. But I highly recommend it. I love Nova. I don't know what it is about Nova. Like it's a bit old, a bit dodgy, but I think because the cinemas are smaller.
Yeah,
and there's always an atmosphere that I walk in there and everyone's there to see the film or to really enjoy it, to soak it all in.
I mean, the legroom sucks, but I can give it because it's got
character.
It doesn't have scum watching the film.
That's right, yeah. And you know what? The week before this, I was at Nova again and I was watching the new Louis Theroux documentary.
Oh, there you go.
So, and you know what? Fantastic. If you want to talk about... It was about polyamory. And I'll tell you what. Polyamory... there's always one person in that polyamorous relationship that's getting fucked.
Yeah.
Like, fucked over.
I mean,
yeah. So, like, this couple... The husband and wife of two different couples were hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two were not hooking up with anybody.
Right, okay.
Just their partners.
Just their partners, yeah.
And the guy was basically, I want more time with I love more time with my wife, but she's really happy with this other man half the time. And then Louis Theroux, who's a fantastic documentary maker, up and asks her in front of him, goes, would you give up more your time with the other gentleman to fulfill the needs of your husband, more time with your husband here? And not in the words of no, but she basically said no. And I'm like, wow. And you could feel the tension in the audience of watching this. And, Jess and I are watching this going, why the fuck are you with her? Leave, find someone.
Get the fuck out of there.
That really, disgusting. And look, sometimes it works. Like they showed some people that it was working okay.
Yeah, right.
But it wasn't really like a full. My favorite thing is about all this sort of stuff. They were talking about how, I don't really have like a hierarchy. Everyone's equal in this relationship. Mm-hmm. This woman was talking about it, and then Louis Theroux was like, "This is her partner, who she's about to have a baby with." It's just like, obviously, there's a hierarchy because this one here is having the baby with you, not these other 5 men.
Yeah,
like there's obviously a hierarchy here.
Wow, I couldn't do it.
One who has the fucking time. Like, one girlfriend is enough. Imagine having to go to 5 different people's families' events.
For Christmas. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's all I could think of.
And all the presents you've got to buy.
And you know what? I don't care how much sex you're getting. That is a lot of effort. That is a lot of fucking effort. You're going to buy you could buy 4 to 5 times the amount of gifts. Too much effort.
We all know, and I know we're waiting for next week for Christmas, but...
Christmas rant, yeah.
We all know that... Christmas Day takes a lot of effort because you've got to sit there and you've got to see your aunt that you never see, and she's going to bombard you with questions, and you've got to show like you care. Yeah. And then you've got to repeat that to every other freaking family member. Yeah,
I actually want to... I think we should... I was saying to Jess has bought a Christmas t-shirt, and it just says...
Fuck off.
No, it says Festive AF, and has a bunch of dancing skeletons, which is pretty funny. I said to her, geez, I just want a t-shirt that says Merry fucking Christmas cunts and just walk around the whole day. Like, that would be perfect. Like, that's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'd be very excited for Christmas. Can you tell? But that's like the Christmas rant. We should do a Christmas rant.
What size shirt are you?
Medium.
Medium?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, fair
chest is pretty big.
Well, I've got a news article for you,
Turch. News story for me, Kieran.
Ohio State students get baking vending machine.
Ooh, baking vending machine.
What
does that mean?
Ohio State University students are being treated to an unusual snacking option for finals, thanks to a new bacon vending machine. The Ohio Pork Council.
Sorry. I heard baking, and I thought, geez, they could you could buy a whisk or an egg and a pack of flour.
Oh, right.
Baking.
No.
Bacon.
Yes, bacon.
Subtly different.
Did I say baking?
I don't know. That's what I heard.
No, I said bacon.
Bacon. So bacon.
Bacon. The Ohio Pork Council, a trade group for Ohio pork producers, installed a vending machine at the College of Food, Agricultural and Environmental Sciences that dispenses cooked, ready-to-eat Smithfield, Hormel, and Sugardale bacon.
That's all. So basically it's like a jerky then.
Yeah.
I would assume so. That's pretty cool though. I can imagine that it wouldn't be very popular with the Muslim and Jewish students though.
Probably not. But remember, we've got to cater to everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I'm always up for a piece of bacon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I good on him. We need more bacon machines.
Well, does any type of
bacon
meat? Yeah.
Oh, God, imagine that.
It's pretty good. I would love to see that try to be implemented, but I don't think it'll ever be implemented here.
Why?
People already complain about too much sugar.
Oh, fuck them.
They keep trying to tease. Have you seen the ad recently about the guy's he's got a heart condition or cancer, or he's got cancer, and the surgeon's like, oh, he could have stopped this if he didn't have too many fizzy drinks. I'm just like, this is just a ploy to put a tax on fizzy drinks. on sugary drinks. This is what it is. That's what it's going to lead to. We're just going to be taxed so much on bullshit that we're not going to have any money to actually buy the things that we really want.
Potentially. But talking of buying things, can you buy me... I saw this cap the other day.
Yeah.
Right. I may have said this last week. I can't remember.
Probably.
But it says the word CEO on it.
I think you talked about that one. Yeah, okay. Merry Christmas.
I'll get you a shirt that says Merry fucking Christmas.
That'd be great.
Cunts, and you get me the hat that says CEO.
What a day. What a day. Oh, well, speaking of buying things, Kieran.
Yeah.
I know that you are very popular on Instagram.
Thank you.
Like, you're an influencer.
Yes.
And, you know, you show off products, and then people, you get paid advertising dollars for that. And people go out and buy the products that you go, oh, I got this handbag from Gucci. I know you love a good man bag.
Absolutely.
So,
which is surprising, considering I'll tell you the last time I actually Instagrammed something.
Everyone follow Kieran on Instagram.
It's Thorpey90.
There you go. He's in. Everyone's going to follow you now.
Oh, fuck, where is it? The last post was the 29th of May, 2017.
That's fantastic.
Wow, that soon? Oh,
that's pretty good. Well done. Only a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
And then you can see my dog.
That's pretty good.
Some pictures of Vietnam.
Lovely.
And food.
Well, that's what you talk about on the podcast too, funnily enough. Wide range of skills there.
Look at that. Look at that salad.
Everyone have to go onto your Instagram. You know
what? Look at that one. Look at that one. How good does that look?
Pretty nice.
That tasted shit. But look how good it looks.
That's the important thing. It's like all those Instagram bloggers that take photos of their like bacon and eggs, and it's just like, yeah, it's still bacon and eggs. It's gonna taste good.
This is a pear and raspberry salad, and I don't know what the fuck I did, but it tasted terrible.
I don't know what to say to you there, buddy. But let me tell you a story.
But look at that. Hang on a second. But look at those, right? Look at those. That is crispy potatoes.
So that's good.
And sweet potato. Look at that.
I'm going to go off and like every single one of your photos.
Oh, that is Christmas Day type. That is. Go.
Well, if you're looking for something to buy your mum for Christmas, let me help you out here, Kieran. Mm-hmm. So Payless Shoes opens a fake luxury store and sells customers $20 shoes for $600 in an experiment.
Sorry, say that again.
So Payless Shoes.
Yeah, opens luxury store.
Opens a luxury store and sells customers $20 shoes, like a pair of shoes for $20, for $600 in an experiment. How's this?
For $600?
Yeah, how's this? So Payless's recent marketing campaign tricked fashion influencers into paying significantly more for a pair of affordable shoes. The retailers created a new store and called it Palessi. Palessi. As an experiment, just to see how much fashion-forward people would think would have to pay for high-end shoes. Influencers, professionals that inspire consumers to make purchases based on their expertise, were invited for the grand opening of Palessi, a new high-end designer. Those that attended the exclusive party paid between $200 and $600 for Payless shoes, are typically run up to top end $40. Payless sold $3,000 worth of shoes in hours from opening. So one influencer said, I would pay forward $500. People would be like, where did you get those shoes? These are $20 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Other influencers remarked on the looks of the shoes and the quality of the material and were overall very impressed by the shoes.
That's how you know they're crappy influencers.
Well, it's one of those things like, yeah, they're buying these sort of shoes.
But do you know what they're buying? They're buying status.
That's all they're buying.
That's what they're buying is status.
It's not really like...
It's not the shoe. It's the fact that...
This shoe is exclusive. It's $600. I spent, $600 on a t-shirt or a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I'm very rich. Look at this. You should buy it too if you want to. I think it's like, when people have like Apple laptops. And I'm not saying that Apple laptops are terrible, but like it's that status symbol.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. I got it because it works.
It works.
And it doesn't fuck up. But also the status.
Yeah, exactly right. Those people like buy very expensive watches or very expensive cars. They're buying a status symbol. Like, I have this car, I am worth X amount. And it's the same for this. They're going, I bought a pair of shoes for $700. They could be the most ugly pair of shoes in the world, but the fact that they cost so much and have a certain logo on it. Like, have you ever seen Louis Vuitton handbags? Like Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
No. They got a logo and they basically just puncture it all over handbags. And in my opinion, they look disgusting, but they're like $800, $900.
Mm.
But women know, one, if it's a real one or not, and two, how much they will cost, and that's a status symbol.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same for guitarists, believe it or not.
It's the same with cars as well.
Yeah, yeah.
There isn't... Okay, so there's a difference between your stock standard, like, everyday car, right? Because it's parts made out of metal, parts made out of plastic, right? And then you got your luxury high-end cars where they're using better leather and they're using, more metal throughout the car, right? But the actual cost between that crappy car and the high-end one, the difference isn't that phenomenal, right? As far as the cost to make that car. There is a difference.
There is a difference. I think with cars...
But their markup value...
Yeah. I think for cars, it's more in the engineering side of things. I think it's the cost of the engine, the design of the engine, the way that it moves and stuff like that. The way that the car is shaped is a big thing.
Yeah.
And not to say that, smaller car companies... Oh, look, Toyota's one of the biggest in the world, but you wouldn't call them, high quality, elite cars. Whereas someone like, Maserati...
But why does Toyota have Lexus? Right.
Because they know they can market those sort of cars.
It's basically the same car. They've just adjusted it up a little bit, right? And it's now a premium high-end car.
Yeah, it's true. But they do spend a little bit extra. I mean, look, but in the cars world, I guess, difference between a top end like a Supra and a Lexus.
Yeah.
Really talking $10,000 to $20,000.
And you, as a valued listener, can join the special exclusive We Only Do One Take podcast for $99 a month. If that's not good enough for you, we also have a premium at $999 per month.
99.9. Yes. This is news to me. How do I join? Wow. But I think of it like guitars. Like people always for guitar pedals, for instance, and probably boring the crap out of our one female listener at the moment because we talked about cars, taxes,
Hi, Jess,
and moved away from shoes. But like people go, oh, you need like the most expensive boutique-y sort of pedals, this and that to do certain things. And at the end of the day, professional guitarists buy the most common pedals because they know if they had to replace it, they can buy one anywhere in the world because they're stocked everywhere in the world. And sometimes that's just more convenient. Or, especially with the power differences, like, they're going to plug in a 9-volt, 240 volts here. In America, it's 120. In the UK, it's 220 volts out of the power thing. It's just easier just to buy a new one when they're there.
Sorry, you're boring me to death with guitars. I am tuned out.
But anyway, nonetheless, they actually gave the money back to the people.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about shoes.
So they gave them some free shoes and gave them all the money back, despite the fact that this was more of an experiment about things and anything else. I think that's really sad. I think they should have just screwed them over and just showed how stupid that they are.
I think that would have been a far better option.
I think more people would be on board with it. Like the common man would just go, "Ha, we screwed those fuckers over. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a pair of shoes."
And then say that they're Parcellet or whatever they're called.
Yeah, they're Palessi.
Palessi. Did you know we started off the podcast many episodes ago?
Yeah.
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yes.
One of the very first talking points and one of the very first, I think episode 3?
Two or three. Yeah.
Well, Milo Yiannopoulos has a Patreon account because he's now broke.
I heard this up like $2 to $4 million or something.
Yes, something like that.
I heard that he was kicked off Patreon recently.
Well, I heard that too.
Which is it seems like there's a whole bunch of people that's been kicked off Patreon recently, including obviously Milo Yiannopoulos. Gavin McInnes was another one that's been deplatformed. Off a whole bunch of music. I think Alex Jones. I don't think Alex Jones was kicked off Patreon. I never thought he had one, but he's definitely would have been if he did. And the big one recently is a YouTuber named Sargon of Akkad. Sargon of Akkad. He is like a classical libertarian type, classical liberal. Sorry, And he's just been kicked off the platform because he said in a live stream, on someone else's live stream, white N-word.
Oh,
calling someone else.
Okay.
But, and that's why he got kicked off the platform. But he was only like 10 grand a month or something like that, 10, 12 grand a month. Something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But a whole bunch of people have been sort of deplatformed off that
off that platform, yeah.
That platform, which is sad. And I think that if a new platform was to be created, that apart from, terrorist organizations and certain little things, if they just said, we don't care what you do or what you say, I think that lots of people would move over there. And there would definitely be a market for it. And I think Patreon take 0.5% of all earnings as a transaction sort of thing. If they just said, yeah, and we charge, 0.25%, or even 0.3%, I think you could really clean up.
I think we should start the We Only Do One Take podcast
Patreon account. That'd be really good.
Patreon account.
Yeah. I know Hatreon's a thing.
Hatreon?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was created by the guy. I know. I think it was created by the guy that invented the Ghost gun, which was like 3D printable guns. Oh. I think it was him, but I might be wrong. That's another platform.
There you go.
That you can also do. So Milo, back to Milo.
Back to Milo. What is he asking for? $2.50 a month would let you become a foot soldier in the revolution.
And what does that buy you?
I've got no fucking idea. $25 a month gives you 10% off all merchandise forever.
That doesn't mean anything.
Plus free Milo ringtones. Who uses those? An SMS alert pack.
It's real dodgy shit.
For someone who's got their phone always on silent.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, who has... apart from work phones during work hours, who has their phone on loud, like when they're out with their mates and stuff like that?
I don't know.
I've got a new Fitbit now, and it tells me when
people are calling.
When people are calling, and when people send me texts. I don't even look at my phone anymore. If only this could change the music for me on my phone, I would never look at my phone.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
And $100 a month gets you all the above plus a personalised thank you message.
All of this sounds like garbage.
It does.
I know, I know that he's written a book because I've read his book. I got it for free and I read it. And he's not the greatest writer. He's very conversationalist when he writes. When he writes. And it's not a great book. It's pretty funny. It has its moments. I don't agree with, obviously, with it, all of it.
I want to know why he's in debt.
I don't know. Because he had a podcast thing going, a subscription-based podcast, which I thought was quite successful. He was writing for a whole bunch of things. He was doing campus talks, this and that. I don't know. Be interesting.
Probably blew it on hookers.
I know he's married. That doesn't mean anything, does it? No.
I got no idea.
He's polyamory. Polyamorous. He's got many lovers all around the world. What can I say?
Maybe.
There we go. We got time for one more?
Yeah, let's go for one more.
One more. All right then. We get back to the government. We now can never leave it. But this man here is a real. I support this man with all my love, with all my heart. And if I could do something, if I was a lawyer, I would help this man out.
Did you say something to do with an oven mitt?
No, not yet. Emil Rantelband, 69. Told he cannot legally change his age.
Oh, I read, yes.
So, a Dutchman who wanted to change the age on his birth certificate to boost...
because of Tinder.
To boost his dating prospects, has lost a legal battle to do so. Emil Rantelband, still aged 69, wanted to change his birth date by 20 years to avoid what he called discrimination. And this is an amazing thing. We live in a time when you can change your name and change your gender. Why can't I decide my own age? But the court disagreed, highlighting the many problems, many rights in law are based on a person's age, and changing it would cause many problems. There was no legal basis to make such change, it said.
Well, I think you can't change it up, right? You can't go up. So you can't be 16 and go, I'm going to legally change it to 18. You're 69, you want to be 18 again? Fuck it, why not?
Oh, that's right. But
Fuck it. Choose to be 16 and you can't buy alcohol.
Ahead of the hearing, he made television appearances and press appearances saying that he felt discriminated against in both employment and on the popular dating app Tinder. And he said his doctors has told him he has the body of someone in their 40s.
Well, he should be 40 then.
If I'm 49, then I can buy a new house, drive a different car. I can take up more work, he said. When I'm on Tinder, it says I'm 69. I don't get an answer. When I'm 49, with the face I have, I will be in a luxurious position. Alongside widespread media attention, he was criticised for comparing his bid to someone of people in the transgender community. In court, he argued that the date on the birth certificate was a mistake, even though he was born on that day on the 11th of March 1949. The court agreed that with him that his age is part of his personal identity, but unlike a person's gender or name, it had further complications. So like you said, the issue was that, if you're changing your age, that's stuck to the right to vote, the right to marry, the opportunity to drink alcohol and drive a car and stuff like that. But then again, he just felt discriminated against the ruling. Because, if he was younger, one, he could date potentially younger women. But, if he wanted to buy a car or buy a house or do something like that, or find other employment, some people don't hire people that are of a certain age because they know they're going to retire soon or stuff like that. He felt discriminated against. I thought it was really interesting. But they go on saying that, you can't change, you can change your gender and you can change your name and stuff like that. He should have brought up Rachel Dolezal. Have you heard about this chick?
No.
So this is an article, and I won't read much of it, but it just says Rachel Dolezal, who pretended to be black, is charged with welfare fraud.
Now, how is pretending to be black related to welfare?
So basically, her name's Rachel Ann Dolezal, is an American former civil rights activist known for being exposed as white while falsely claiming to be African American. So she basically put on, darkened her skin, frizzed out her hair, and decided that she was part of the black community, and became this African American civil rights pusher. Now, she's very current.
Right, okay.
And she was found out later, after getting a scholarship for being black or something like that, or defrauding the system. Obviously, she's being charged with fraud. That her parents are both white. Her her grandparents, her great-grandparents, all white. She was not black at all, but she just put on, she just said, I feel black, I'm part of this community, changed her name to be more of a...
like LaQuisha?
Yeah. I can't even... Kaneki Amare Diallo. She changed her name too. So this lady can...
But if someone wants to be, I don't know, paint their skin black and feel that they're part of the black community and do that, then okay.
Oh, look, I'm all for it. I mean, look, people can change their gender and play... I don't know if you saw that... the person, the male to female transgender person who has been trying to get into the WAFL for a while. Now, she's playing handball for the Australian handball team, and she's 6'4".
Australia has a handball team?
Yeah. Women's handball team, in fact.
My God.
So she's playing for the...
Because my mission is to get into the Olympics, but in the sport where I don't have to do much.
Well, she's like a 6'4" woman that's been on hormone treatments for 3 years, still talks like a man, still looks like a bloke, and has the arms of a bloke. And the people, you got to look at the photos later, but the people that she's playing handball against are 5'5", 5'7" women.
Wow.
That are, always women, not going through this transgender, change. And she looks like a guy just beating the shit out of women.
I hope she represents the Australian team very well.
Oh, look, as long as she wins, I don't care.
Yeah. It's up to the sporting bodies to determine.
That's the real thing. I'll tell you what.
Bring home the gold medal.
Imagine transgender, changing your gender from male to female, because you can't make the men's teams. You go to the female team, and then still losing. How fun! That must be. No wonder they have a very high suicide rate.
And on that note,
we'd like to thank you for listening to the We Only Do One Take podcast. If you'd like more, please make sure you subscribe to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you'd like to send us a hate mail, a death threat, or a rant, send us an email or record the rant on your phone and send it to us at weonlydoontakepodcast@gmail.com. Kieran, thank you for another fantastic episode.
My pleasure.
And we will see you, all you wankers out there next.
For the pre-Christmas drinks.
Yeah. Christmas function party thing. We'll see you all next Thursday. Cups of tea happening over there.
Yeah, there is.
I think we should get one.
Oh, absolutely. Scientists brew lava and blow it up to better understand volcanoes.
This was the vinegar and the bicarb soda. Finally, all those children's science experiments come in handy.